Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to Tuesday evening's edition of Off the Wall with Cody. I'm your host, Cody Wall. On this week's edition, we are going to be shifting gears from the Western Canada Hockey Exposure Camp that ASTV just recently covered a couple of weeks ago, back on May 6th. And we're going to be moving forward to another event that I am personally very excited to be going to. Another chance that I get to go on a trip, and that's going to be going to this year's 2022 Brick Invitational in Edmonton, Alberta. That's going to be taking place in the West Edmonton Mall. For those of you who don't know, the Brick Invitational Tournament is a tournament put on annually by the Brick Company, by Bill Comrie and his executives. That's who started it, was Bill Comrie, the owner and CEO of the Brick, and the father of Winnipeg Jets backup goaltender Eric Comrie. It's a tournament that I've heard about for a number of years. It looks like dating back, this tournament goes all the way back into 1990. So a tournament that's definitely been around for a while. Always had that kind of finesse, kind of special feeling around it. It's just always been that tournament that, kind of was for the best of the best. And this year it's going to feature two age groups, players born 2012 as well as players born 2011. It's going to be, like I said, a great tournament. This tournament has, over the years, had a number of players come out of it that have gone on to play some very high-level hockey. Just to name a few, there's Sam Steele, who's played for the Edmonton team when he was playing in the Brick tournament, currently playing with San Diego in the AHL. Nick Merkley, also playing for Team Edmonton, currently playing with Tucson in the AHL, drafted by Arizona. And another player who, I get the chance, I'm going to have the chance to talk to in a little bit, is Trent Crane. Trent Crane is a local player from my neck of the woods here in Winkler, Manitoba, and really excited to get a chance to talk to Trent about his experience there. Obviously, it's been now a couple of years since Trent has gone to the tournament himself, going back 2012, 2013. Just getting to talk a little bit about what his experience was like at the Brick tournament, and just just really in capturing the excitement around this tournament. I know I personally have watched this tournament over the years as kind of that upper echelon, that kind of benchmark for players that are going to be doing a lot of damage in hockey going forward. A number of current NHL players. I know I mentioned Sam Steele and Nick Merkley as players who were in attendance. There's just so many players. You can find all the alumni under the info page on the Brick Invitational Hockey Tournament website. And on there, you'll also find the schedule for the 2022 and 2021 tournaments. 2021 tournament technically still on there as the 2021, just because that was the canceled season. The 2021 schedule is going to feature the 2012s, I believe, and then the 2022 is going to feature the 2011. I've had a chance to talk to a number of people in this area who have sons or grandsons that are going to be in attendance. One player I'm hoping to get a chance to sit down and talk to is Dane Wooby from Manitou, Manitoba. I got a chance to, while working at my other job, got a chance to talk to his grandmother, Ruby Fallis. So shout out to Ruby out there for making the connection. We've talked over the last couple of weeks about how Dane and the Winnipeg Junior Ice have been prepping to get ready for this Brick Invitational. And, obviously she's the proud grandmother who's running all over the countryside. And, it's the grandmas and the parents who really make the whole hockey experience so much better, just with, coming together as families, because, no hockey player, you talk to anybody from the minor league level all the way up to the pros, nobody would be there without the countless hours and the attention from their family, namely their mom and dad. But also, there's a lot of NHL players who credit a lot of their success to their grandparents, just because having siblings that parents weren't always able to take them to every single game. I know that, back in my short playing career, just playing high school hockey here in the Zone 4 League, I loved having my parents and my grandparents coming to the games. When the hockey felt like it mattered, you could always depend on your family to be there for you in those important games. Turning it more towards the Brick tournament there, before I go off on a tangent on my little playing career, or what there wasn't. Looks like the 2011 born players are going to be starting their tournament on Wednesday, June 29th here of 2022. And they're going to play right until July 3rd, when the finals are going to be taking place there at the West Edmonton Mall. And then that following Monday, July 4th, we're going to see the 2012s take a chance, or do their have their tournament for the year. We're going to see a number of teams. Just looking at the 2011s, we're going to have the Toronto Bulldogs. We're going to have the Montreal Canadiens, the Western Selects. There's going to be the team from Chicago, Manitoba Junior Ice, Boston Junior Bruins, Saskatchewan Junior Pats, Team Pennsylvania, Detroit Junior Red Wings, Team Minnesota, Team Brick Alberta, BC Junior Canucks, and Toronto Pro Hockey. And as we get closer to the Brick tournament, as I mentioned, starting June 29th, I'm going to have a chance to hopefully talk to more players than just local ones like Dane. I hope to get in contact with a number of the coaches and players for teams such as the BC Junior Canucks or Toronto Pro Hockey. I want to diversify to all the teams that are going to be in attendance and really give them their time in the light here. So hopefully, for all you coaches or players of any of those teams that are going to be in attendance of the Brick tournament, don't be afraid to look out for my email on our website, ASTV Productions, and you can send me information to come in contact with a player you may know that might want to come on this show and talk about their past season, their excitement level leading up to the Brick. But for now here, before I continue rambling on, we're going to send it to a quick commercial break and come back for the interview I have with Trent Crane. And here we have him, the man of the hour, Trent Crane. Trent, great to have you on here on Off the Wall today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. What about yourself?
Oh, doing great. Just been getting ready to go to the upcoming Brick tournament in Edmonton at the end of June, beginning of July. But we'll start with talking about you. You've had a pretty eventful last couple of weeks. You and the Summerside Western Capitals winning the Canadian Tire Cup and now getting a chance to go to the Centennial Cup there in Estevan. How has that whole situation been so far?
Yeah, it was a long process. Obviously, it's a hard playoff series. All the teams we played were really good teams, and we knew going into the playoffs we had a really good chance at winning. And coaches just got us dialed in, and we pulled it off. It was a really good experience, and wouldn't want to win it with any other guys.
Yeah, just a great group. You guys kind of all having that, chemistry that seems to pull the championship teams together.
Yeah, absolutely. Chemistry I think is one of the biggest things. Like everyone on our team really gets along. Everyone's on the same page at all times, and we all know what's at stake and what our ultimate goals are.
Well, it looks like you had started the year with the Victoria Royals in the WHL. Playing in such a high league like that, when you came to Summerside, did the coaches find it real easy to pitch in those offensive opportunities very early on?
Yeah, obviously, that kind of helped, but I kind of had to earn my way up just like everyone else because, obviously on our team we have a lot of good players and a lot of other players that played in major junior, like in the Q or in some other leagues. So, like just like everyone else, just had to kind of work my way up into the lineup, and yeah, but it's been a great experience.
Did you find a lot of your points coming at the later half of the year after you kind of earned that the coach's respect?
Yeah, like obviously, like the first couple games there were a little rough for me, just kind of adapting to the different style of play. And but I think when I got the hang of it and kind of where to be and where not to be, I think I did pretty good after that.
Yeah, looking at your season stats, you were able to, in your 18 games, pick up 12 points for just under 0.66 points per game. So that's a pretty good clip for an offensive player like yourself. Obviously, I've heard a lot about you over the years, Trent. I've had both your parents, one as a principal, one as one of my grade 4 teachers. So, I've heard a lot about you coming up through Darren and your mother, Tammy. So
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I love my parents. They've been my two biggest supporters ever since I've started hockey, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And I just want to say thanks for that.
Yeah, parents always, the ones who make it happen. Obviously they would be the ones who kind of helped you get into the game. But if you're looking at your early age, is there any coaches that stand out that kind of helped you get to the next level?
Yeah, growing up, I think a big coach that I had was Reed Sloan from Morden there. He coached me 2 years in a row in AAA Bantam hockey, and I think he really helped me understand the defensive side of the game a lot better. And he did help me a lot offensively. He showed me some things, and I think if it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd be as good as I am defensively or offensively.
You being a bit of a smaller stature forward, is that something you kind of struggle with a little bit, finding your way around the ice, or are you able to throw your body around and kind of create a bit of space for yourself throughout there?
Yeah, obviously I'm not the biggest player on the ice. Like there's a lot bigger and definitely tougher guys than me, but I think I throw my weight around pretty well. Like I can take pretty good checks, and I usually get up pretty fast if I get hit pretty hard. So, but it's just part of the game. Not everyone's going to be small or tall, so just playing and trying to play my game is I think the biggest thing for me.
So it looks like you had finished, just bringing it back to your offensive numbers, 16th on the team with only playing half the games. Did you get a lot of power play or any sort of other special teams time to, rack up the points?
Yeah, obviously I think the power play was a big one. Like I think our power play was really good this year, and yeah, I think we thrived in the playoffs too as a unit. We scored a lot of big goals and key goals as a unit, and I think that was a big key for sure.
Now, bringing it back a little bit earlier in your hockey career, you had been fortunate enough to play on the 2012-2013 Winnipeg Junior Jets. That's a couple years back now, but what kind of experience was that, just going to one of the premier tournaments for young hockey players in Canada?
Yeah, it's at that age, it's like it's really big. Like, it's all across Canada, and there's a lot of states teams that go to that tournament, and it was a different experience. Like for myself, like it was a lot of fun and a lot of different. Like you get to see all these really good hockey players from all over, the world, really, and yeah, like it was a huge and fun experience, and I can't talk about how much it was key in my life to playing hockey.
You still have some friends from that team. Looks like a couple of players, one namely with NHL contract, Carson Lambros. He a guy you sometimes still exchange text messages with.
Yeah, like we talk here and there. I congratulated him on getting drafted and making the World Junior team there, and but other than that, no, we haven't talked in a while.
What was the coaching like for a short tournament like the Brick Invitational?
Yeah, the coaching was great. Like uh it's like kind of hard to explain, I guess, but like I think all the coaches that were there were like really dialed and key coaches. Like they either played like a high level of hockey at some point in their lives or coached some sort of high level hockey. So I think like it was pretty fun to learn from my coaches myself. So yeah.
Yeah, those high level coaches usually are the ones who can kind of show you some things that your maybe your local minor hockey coaches don't have the ability to do, just because a lot of those summer hockey leagues do get a chance to get kind of that next tier of coaching. Did you guys, before the tournament, have a lot of exhibition games leading up to the Brick tournament? And what were some of the teams you got to play against leading up to it?
Yeah, obviously, it was a long process to make that team. I think it was about a year maybe to make that team, and throughout that year, we played a lot of exhibition games against a lot of teams. Like at that point too, I think we did a checking tournament at that age, just to kind of experience what hitting hockey was like. And but I remember we played this one team, the 2K Warriors. Then they were, I think, a year older than us, and they were probably some of the best players I've ever played against. Like some big names like Seth Jarvis, Damon Hunt, Nolan Ritchie, all these high end players that play major junior now or have entry level contracts in the NHL. So that's pretty cool.
And playing against guys like that, it really helps you elevate your play, I assume.
Yeah, like obviously just watching those guys, like you learn a lot. They've done a lot with their careers, and you typically get like to look up to those guys, and you want to be like them. So
Now you guys are with the Summerside Capitals going to be playing for the Centennial Cup there in the CJHL tournament in Estevan. How many days before the tournament do you guys have to kind of form that bond and really get ready, get in the right mind space for the tournament?
well, we were fortunate to actually have a couple weeks off. I think it was two for sure. And obviously after the playoffs, we took a couple days off just to rest and recover from just the hard play and how kind of taxing it was for everyone. And then right after that, we got right back to work and we were on the ice practicing and getting ready for this tournament because we know how big it is and we really want to win it.
So you got a little bit of time to get prepared mentally, physically, and maybe heal up a little bit because, as with, all kind of playoff hockey, injuries sometimes and kind of those nagging ones get to you. So got a little bit of time to heal up and get into that right mental space heading into the Centennial Cup.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, like rest and recovery is like probably one of the biggest things, like being a hockey player, you use your body a lot and like recovery and the after part of the game is really huge. It's almost as important as the warm up. So, yeah.
Who do you kind of emulate your game around or model your game after?
I like to say I play a lot like William Nylander. I think we kind of skate the same and we kind of play the same type of game. I would say like more of a playmaking style. But obviously watching him in the playoffs, he's been really good scoring. So, but no, I think just like we're kind of shifty on our edges and crossing over, we can build up a lot of speed and. Yeah, I think that's just two biggest things that I think we have in common.
Especially in today's hockey, speed is such a key thing. Probably could have guessed that you would have picked a Toronto Maple Leaf just based on knowing your dad over the years. Always been that diehard Leafs fan. How is he taking it after a hard playoff run here?
Like with the Leafs or with
with the Leafs? Sorry to transition there.
Yeah, we both like I was watching the game in Summerside, obviously, and he was watching it at home, and we were texting each other throughout the whole game, and he was pretty upset with how the reffing played out, but it's just the game. Like you can't really control what the refs are gonna do, and obviously you think there's gonna be some bad calls in the game, but you can't really change that. So, but he was pretty frustrated, and I think they played really well though. Like they really played really hard against them, and Tampa Bay Lightning's not an easy team to play against. Like 2 cups in a row, it's pretty hard. So, but I think my dad was still pretty proud of how they played.
Definitely a better, just heart effort from the Leafs this year than you kind of saw from past years. Going forward, who is the team you kind of in the NHL playoffs you're kind of rooting for now to kind of go all the way?
I think I would really like to see Calgary go far. I like to see a Canadian team, do really well in the playoffs. So I'm hoping they beat Edmonton and go to the Stanley Cup final against whoever's on the other side who comes out there. So, but yeah, no, I think I really am rooting for Calgary at this point.
They would be your team from the West. Just looking at the East, who would be your team you'd be picking from the East?
I would like to see. I think Carolina win or get at least as far as they can. I think they're a really good team, and I think they're a little underrated. Like I don't think a lot of people talk about how really good their team is, and they have a lot of good players, and I think they're going to do really well against New York.
Yeah, hopefully those are two teams I would agree. I kind of have in the back of my mind been rooting for, as well as Colorado. I'd like to see some of those players like Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, obviously not being in the league a long time, not kind of paying his dues as guys like Landeskog and McKinnon. But another team I'd kind of like to see go all the way as well if Calgary can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on with me, Trent. Hopefully, you have a strong showing there at the Centennial Cup, and we're going to be hearing more about you guys possibly hoisting the Centennial Cup here in the near future. And yeah, thank you for coming on, and good luck in your future endeavors there.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on here to just talk about the year and playing in the Brick Tournament. So thank you for that, Cody.
And thanks, Trent. Have a great day, rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep, you too.
That was Trent Crane, great interview with a great young man that I've had the chance to kind of hear about over the years, just through being a student of his dad, Darren, and his mom, Tammy, being the principal of my high school. We're going to send it to a quick commercial break and come back and talk some more Brick Tournament.
Welcome to Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mountain Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
And welcome back. I want to thank Trent again for coming on with me. Kind of was a last minute, I don't want to say, sorry, not last minute, but just recently with planning the Brick Tournament was, great to get a chance to talk to him with just recently switching gears, not having a long time to find a guest. Thank you for him coming on such short notice, as well as thank you to his mom, Tammy McDonald, for putting us in contact. I do hope that over the next couple of weeks here leading up to the Brick Tournament, as mentioned, hoping to have a couple of current players, like I mentioned, Dane Wooby, as well as been in contacts with another player for the Manitoba Junior Ice, Brock Vodden. Been in contact with his father and just trying to set up an interview with Brock and Dane, as well as another local-esque player for me here, another local name, is another Trent as well. Trent Sambrook recently played 3 years with the Winkler Flyers here, my local junior hockey team. Last year ended up being a assistant captain for the Flyers and currently is committed to Mercyhurst in the NCAA D1. So obviously going to be exciting to get to talk to Trent Sambrook as well going forward about his experience with the Brick Tournament, playing back in, I believe it was the 2011-2012 year, just a year before Trent Crane. So gonna get a chance to talk to him, hopefully coming up in the next couple of weeks, just about his hockey endeavors in these past couple of years, playing with the Flyers, being a leader on the Winkler Flyers, as well as getting a chance to play under two professional coach players in Justin Falk and Ryan White this year with the Winkler Flyers, as well as his hockey future now committing to the NCAA. Just pulling it back to the Brick Tournament, I do have now the 2012 age group is going to feature some different teams. They're going to have the Connecticut Junior Rangers, the Saskatchewan Junior Pats, just like the 2011s, as well as the Montreal Canadiens, the BC Junior Canucks, Team Brick Alberta, Team Pennsylvania, Boston Junior Bruins, as well as there's going to be two teams from Toronto. There's going to be the Toronto Bulldogs, the Toronto Pro Hockey Team Minnesota, Western Selects, Team Chicago, Detroit Junior Red Wings, as well as the Manitoba Junior Ice. And the 2012 age group is going to be taking place after the 2011 age group from July 4th to the championship Sunday of July 10th. So, just an exciting time here for ASTV to get such a high prestigious event such as the Brick Invitational Hockey Tournament, something I've always thought was the bee's knees, or however you wanna slice it. Just really been a prestigious tournament I've always had a high regard for. We're going to send it to another commercial break and talk a little bit more about what's going on in hockey elsewhere, just with the NHL playoffs now getting into the second round, having a couple games being played this evening on this Tuesday evening. And we'll come back and talk about my thoughts a little bit about the games that are underway for today and going forward for the rest of this second round. We'll be back in just a moment here on Off the Wall with Cody.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
And welcome back for the last segment of Off the Wall with Cody. I'm your host, Cody Wall. And just taking a look here at the NHL playoffs, getting going here now with the second round starting today. I believe the Tampa Bay, Florida game is underway. Looks like Florida currently leading that game here in the second period, 1-0. So Tampa Bay currently trailing in that game, but definitely a team, as seen when playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs, team you never really want to count out. Then looks like a little bit later on, they're going to have the first game of the St. Louis, Colorado series. That's the series I think Colorado is going to be able to take, and I hope, as mentioned in the interview with Trent, that Colorado is able to go far in this playoffs, just because they do have a number of players who I feel like have kind of been on the doorstep, kind of like those early, kind of give me a sense of that early Tampa Bay before they were able to break through, where they have a bunch of great team with a bunch of talent, just not quite able to put it all together. And hopefully this is the year they get a chance to put it through, get through into the Western Conference final, and even hopefully on into the Stanley Cup final. Then looking forward at the other two matchups starting tomorrow. Looks like New York Rangers are going to be taking on Carolina. I like New York in that series. Maybe just it's me being biased kind of Jets fan and hoping that New York's able to get by, just because that does mean that with the Andrew Kopp trade that the Jets do get hopefully a little bit more return in regards to that. Definitely Andrew Kopp, a player the Jets, as seen in the later half of the season, weren't able to replace just his kind of effectiveness in the lineup, but definitely increasing that value with upgrading it, I believe, from a second round to a first round pick definitely adds some value that you're going to be missing by not having Andrew Kopp in your lineup. He's kind of that Swiss Army knife player that I always kind of, he's not gonna dazzle you on every night, but he's gonna work hard, and he's gonna be the guy that you can depend on to be there when the game gets dirty, the game gets into that nitty gritty time. So hopefully, for my own personal wants and needs, hoping that New York's able to have their way with Carolina. And then kind of the marquee matchup that everybody's been talking about since both Game 7s had finished, and that is the Edmonton-Calgary series. That one is definitely an intriguing series. I know some of my coworkers at my day job, definitely we've been battling back and forth about why we think each team will have their way. My coworker Harry Hebert, who actually put me in contact with Brock Vodden and his family, currently thinking that no way that Edmonton will have a chance to. I know a way that Edmonton will have a chance to lose against Calgary. I personally, as well as my coworker Travis Friesen, believing that we think that Calgary just has that more depth overall and is going to be able to, wear down Connor McDavid. Hockey, as you know, is more than just a singular game, not like your basketball where you can kind of carry a team on your back through a championship. Not to say that Connor McDavid can't willingly pull a team into one or two games. I don't think that's going to be, in the long run for a deep playoff run, something that the Oilers are going to be able to depend on. I don't think that they quite have the edge in defense. I think Calgary definitely has more depth, top to bottom. On the forward end, I think they have a better goaltender in Markstrom, younger goaltender who, Mike Smith coming into the playoffs, was having had some time off coming into the playoffs, I believe. That could be a benefit for the Oilers, could also end up being something that kind of gets them derailed, getting him out of his rhythm early on coming into the playoffs. He has definitely looked good at points, but I don't think that Oilers are going to be able to outmatch the Flames. So all in all, really hoping to see. I'd like to see Florida take on and defeat Tampa Bay. Obviously, they are another team that's making a deep run. I don't believe I had given my analysis of Tampa Bay and Florida. Like to see a guy like Claude Giroux, who was a career-long Philadelphia Flyer, seeing an opportunity to go out and try and get a championship before he ends his career. and definitely been a player who's had a number of accolades. Stanley Cup, definitely something that would be a nice little token to his career, as well as you can never forget about Jumbo Joe Thornton, a guy who started off in Boston, made his way over to San Jose to be kind of their franchise player for a number of years, and then kind of made his way around the league a little bit there with making a stop in Toronto, and now in Florida. Who knows if this is his last kick of the can? I definitely think Tampa Bay has the advantage in goaltending. Sergei Bobrovsky, definitely a good goaltender in his own right, just not the same consistency level as you see from his Russian counterpart in Andrei Vasilevsky, just an all-around, all-world goaltender. We're going to send it to one more commercial break, and we're going to finish off talking more about the Brick Hockey Tournament and where you're going to be able to find that broadcast. And welcome back for our closing out segment here of Off the Wall with Cody. I want to thank you all for tuning in this week, but just a little bit more on what we're touching on here and our center around this show and what it's going to be going forward is the Brick Hockey Tournament. As mentioned, it's going to feature some of the best 2011, 2012 born players in North America. There's going to be teams, like I mentioned, from Boston, Chicago, Toronto, 2 teams from Toronto. And it's just going to be a great tournament where you're going to see hockey's brightest and upcoming stars. Looking back at the Brick Hockey Invitational YouTube page, you can see a number of highlights from players who played there. I believe seeing Aiden Hill was a player who had played in the Brick tournament a number of years ago. Dustin Byfuglien recently playing in the tournament. Jonathan Toews, Byfuglien not playing recently in the tournament because obviously he is now grown up, had his whole career, and now retired from hockey. But past players such as Johnny Gaudreau, Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner, Jonathan Toews, a number of players who you can find as notable alumni of this tournament. So just looking forward and getting to know some of these players that are going to be playing for the upcoming Toronto team and the upcoming Boston team, just really is exciting to get their perspective because obviously, these players knowing they are kind of having an opportunity that not everybody gets a chance to do. I know my age, when I was that young, I was nowhere near the type of player that would have been able to play in a tournament like that. So me getting a chance to cover it now with ASTV, going to be broadcasting all the games on our network. Real excited to get to know hockey's up and coming players who are going to be getting a chance to have some of their names called for the upcoming WHL drafts, OHL drafts, QMJHL drafts, as well as the local drafts in their junior A leagues like the MJHL, SJHL, all the leagues throughout the Canadian Junior Hockey League, Junior A. You got a assume that, a good portion of these players are going to be able to have a strong hockey career, whether it be at the professional ranks or just playing at the junior level, as we've seen a number of players such as Trent Sambrook and Trent Crane have been able to have successful junior careers, as well as continue their hockey career, as Trent Sambrook is going to be doing with Mercyhurst in the NCAA, with Trent Crane also going to be getting a chance to go back to Summerside and get a chance to play another year. With him playing some games in the WHL, Trent, I believe, is going to get a couple of years of Canadian hockey eligibility out of it. I believe the rule with WHL being each game you play within 1 year entitles you to 1 year at a Canadian university. Another local player who was able to use a couple of those free years of schooling was Michael Cephelis, a player who was a couple of years older than me, got a chance to play with the Lethbridge Hurricanes for a couple years in the WHL. But before we end off, just looking into the updates coming from the tournament. As mentioned, the tournament is going to be starting July 29th for the 2011 borns, running into July 3rd. Then 2012 borns will start their tournament July 4th, running into July 10th. And as mentioned, you're going to be able to find all that exciting hockey on our network, ASTV Productions. Go ahead and follow us on all our platforms. You can find us on our YouTube page, Amateur Sports TV, website, amateursports.tv, our Facebook page, ASTV Productions, our Instagram page, ASTV Productions. Follow us on Twitter, amateursports.tv, and be sure to tag us in all that you do. Be sure to drop a comment. I am going to be starting to analyze these comments that are left, just for the ability to try and make the experience for you guys at home, the viewer, better. So constructive criticism going to be welcomed. And again, just want to thank all our sponsors: AETI, Case Financial Group, Evolve Green, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, and Toby Hockey. And I want to thank all you guys, the viewers, for tuning in for another edition of Off the Wall with Cody. I am your host, Cody Wall, signing off for this Tuesday evening. Thank you and good night.